Flop factor. Playoff position races. Luka. OKC. 65-game rule. Tank team spotlight. And J. Cole signed with China. All of this and more on this week's episode of the Flop Factor that starts now. Hello, welcome to episode whatever of Flop Factor. I believe this is 23 technically. It's potentially 24. It depends on if some of our longtime listeners count the Flop Factor live episode as an episode. Some don't, so it's either 23 or 24, whichever floats your boat. But we're pretty far along now. Only 5 games left for now for plenty of teams in the NBA season. And then the playoffs will begin. The play-in tournament. All the teams are locked in that will be making the postseason. Currently in the Eastern Conference, the top 4 seeds have all clinched playoff positioning. The Pistons, Celtics, Knicks, and Cavaliers. With the Pistons, I believe, they've clinched a 1 seed. They have the Y next to their name.
They have the division, yeah.
Oh, they've clinched division. Okay, not yet 1 seed, but I think one more win knocks them into the 1 seed because 4.5 games left. They have 4.5 game differential. They have 5 games left on their schedule. And then for the play-in standpoint, 5 through 10 is all open arms for that. Western Conference side of things, the Thunder and Spurs are in the battle for the 1 seed, but they're clinched for the top 2 seeds. The Lakers have clinched the playoffs. The Denver Nuggets and the Houston Rockets have also clinched playoffs. But the Minnesota Timberwolves and Phoenix Suns still have a small percentage, but very small percentage, but they could potentially swap places 6 and 7 for a play in the playoff seeding. But more than likely, that's all locked in as well, except for positioning the play-in. 7 through 10, especially 8 through 10 are all pretty close in that play-in with the Trailblazers, Clippers, and Warriors. But it's just me and RJ today. Myself, Cody Burton, RJ Rice alongside me. It's a Easter holiday weekend. For Braden's standpoint, he's back at home, celebrated his birthday yesterday. Happy birthday, B-Laz. And is staying.
Did you make a birthday post for him?
I didn't make a post. Oh, I forgot to. Oh, man, I feel bad.
We got to do that.
Yeah, man, I was too busy.
Just do a late one.
Yeah, I was too busy planning for how we're going to attack the U92 poll.
Oh, yes, that's right.
So, yeah, if you're listening to this on Friday, go to U92's Instagram and vote for Flop Factor over Pit the Podium. We deserve this a lot more than them, and we think that's very well that we deserve it a lot more than the Race Car Show. But it's just for Braden's standpoint, celebrate his birthday yesterday. Happy birthday. And is staying in his home state of Ohio, and Columbus to celebrate Easter with his family. So hope he's having a great time back there. Connor Roberts is going up to Pittsburgh right now to watch the Pirates home opener, so have fun there. And then DJ has a ESPN crew time. So it's just me and RJ.
Connor Griffin debut,
Connor Griffin debut.
Already given him $140 million, I think.
Wow.
It's a lot. Baseball money now is nuts, but we are not Flop Factor baseball podcast.
Yeah, we are not the fastball factor.
Fastball factor.
Yeah, but first, I already previewed that we're talking about the NBA standings and the playoff picture. Currently, the Atlanta Hawks, the top 4 seeds are pretty much locked in outside of potentially the Knicks and Cavaliers swapping places. There's currently a 1-game differential between those 2 teams. And do they play against each other?
No.
I don't think they do.
I'm pretty sure we played all of our remainders against the Knicks.
Okay, yeah, but the Knicks' remaining schedule is Chicago, Atlanta, Boston, Toronto, Charlotte. There's 4 teams that have stuff to play for in that realm. So that's a pretty difficult schedule for the New York Knicks. The Cavaliers' standpoint, they had just defeated the Warriors. James Harden had a nice dagger last night.
Max Strus went off, too.
Yeah.
So good to have him back for the Cavs, too.
And their remaining schedule, they have the Hawks twice, but other than that, they have 3 tank teams, Washington, Memphis, and Indiana.
Yes.
So on paper, the Cavaliers have an easier schedule remaining than the Knicks. So who knows what can happen from here on out if we can get a 3-seeded Cavaliers or a 4-seeded Knicks or whatever, because below them, the Hawks and 76ers are still currently, I'm just going to go 5 through
game
10.
and a half, yeah.
5 through 10 is very close. 5 through 10 in the East, very close. The Atlanta Hawks are the 5 seed. They're 1.5 games back at the 6 seed, who are tied with the 7 seed, and those are the Philadelphia 76ers and Toronto Raptors. So, and that 76ers currently have a tiebreaker over the Raptors, both at 42 and 34. Shortly behind the Raptors are the Atlanta Hawks, the Charlotte Hornets, who are 15 games back at number 1, but 1.5 games back of the Raptors and 76ers at that 6 and 7 spots. Following them, half a game back is the Orlando Magic, who have been free falling.
Just tanked.
It's been really bad for the Magic. I would not be shocked that Jamal Mosley is fired after this season. Their roster is far too good to be in the 9th seed. And then right behind them is probably the weirdest team in the entire NBA, in the Miami Heat. Sometimes they're really good, sometimes they're really bad. They play down the competition, play down to bad competition and up to good competition. They just defeated the 76ers and then followed that one up with a loss to the Celtics. But their last 3 games have been a loss to the Cavs, following a win against the Cavs, a loss to the Pacers, that was by 20 points. The next day they defeated the 76ers by 10, and then lost to the Celtics. Now they have the Wizards coming up, which on paper should be a win, but it's Miami Heat. Bam might score. Wilt Bam Kobe
this time.
He might break that record and make it Wilt Bam Bam.
Jesus, man.
But the Eastern Conference is really stacking up to be a fun end of the season.
The East is so weird. I mean, really looking down at this, the thing that really kills is the Orlando Magic. I mean, they just kind of tanked. Why, I don't know. I mean, I think Orlando has a talented roster. Like, I know they have had some injuries this season, but I don't. You got Jalen Suggs, Desmond Bane. Yeah, you got Franz. Paulo's playing power forward. I mean, shout out to that, I guess. And former Chicago Bull Wendell Carter Jr. at the center. I forgot. Oh yeah, I forgot. Javon Carter's also on this team. He also signed. That was what, weeks ago?
Yeah, it was a trade deadline. That's after he got cut and then picked up by the Magic.
That's when he got cut. But for this Orlando team, this is really weird. They have the talent. They just aren't really playing up to expectations. Really what it is, the 1 and 2 seeds to me are locked. It's Detroit and Boston. New York and Cleveland, I think if those switch, it's going to be interesting. But at the same time, if I'm a Cavs fan, like I am in the 4 seed, I don't want to play Atlanta in a 7-game series. Yeah. I really don't. I mean, Atlanta has that chance. They can be one of those teams. And this 2-game set with them to end the year will really kind of justify if that is a worthy claim or not. But then you also have, I think Philadelphia can also climb up as well if they play their cards right. I mean, I would really have to pull up their schedule in a minute. But I think really for the rest of this East, it's more just the switching of the smallers of the 5 and 6. Those will probably be switched. But I mean, other than that, I mean, it's close. I mean, it's 5 through 10. You could, I think probably 8 through 5 or 5 through 8 would be more of where you see a lot of switching and jumping around. But I think the 7 and 8, the difference between those 2 seeds are very important in the play-in, because if you have that 7 seed and you win, you're in. I mean, you don't have to do anything else. But if you're that 8 and you lose, you could go to a 1-game sudden death to see if you make the playoffs. So if I'm the Eastern Conference, especially I'm looking really at the Charlotte-Toronto range, you have to end the season good because you cannot afford to lose that 7 seed.
Yeah, definitely. And really being in that just in general, being in that first play-in game, if you're in that, like the 7-8 matchup, gives you so much of an advantage. Just making sure, if you lose this one, it's not over. And even if you're the away team in the first one, if you lose, you're going to be the home team in the next one. So you're still going to host postseason basketball, and that's what matters at this point in the season. Just trying to get that home court advantage, secure yourself a spot in the playoffs. We've seen it happen. I believe there's only been one time in either conference where a 9-10 actually made it to the playoffs, and I believe it was the Memphis Grizzlies.
Oh, yeah, they did make it.
Yeah, I think it was that team. Wow. But there might have been another one, but off of my memory, that's the only
Golden State? No, they lost. Oh, no. Yeah. Maybe they did make it one of the years. Well, I know Golden State and L.A. played, and I think, didn't L.A. beat them?
Yes.
Or was it the opposite way around? I remember watching that.
Okay. So there's only ever been one number 10 seed to make it through the play-in,
Was it
and it was the
Memphis?
Miami Heat
Oh, it was
last
Miami.
season.
Oh, that's
And then there was a 9-seeded team, and that was the Grizzlies.
Okay, I see. So 10
Yeah.
nuts. So other than that, it's pretty much.
So it's
one
just
from
been
each
those two. I
conference,
forgot
but-
that the Heat did that last year.
Yeah,
That's hilarious.
Kind of forget.
And look who's in the 10 seed again.
Shock. The Miami Heat. What
Eric
do they do?
Spoelstra.
You could do it again with these
I
teams.
mean,
you could.
Eric Spoelstra has also led the only ever team to go from an 8 seed to the NBA Finals. So
That's true.
like that's just Spoelstra. He just locks in the playoffs. It's like Dan Hurley. They're like the same genre, different fonts.
Pretty much. You know what you're
Hurley's a lot more insane, but
Hurley's nuts. Saw one of the clips. I don't know if it's a documentary or something coming out, but he's like, "That's not enough. We're running the stairs," and I'm like, "Oh my god." Which I mean, hey, whatever floats your boat.
and whatever happens in the East between the Hawks, Sixers, and Raptors, and also the Hornets, Magic, and Heat, that's all tight. Will really be fun. I think next episode will probably be our playoff preview one, I would think, or maybe it'd be the one after that.
Let me see. Because, let me look at. Well, I'm on the Philly schedule still. That Friday would be. Yeah, it'd be second to last game of the year.
Okay.
So you probably have every spot locked in by then, besides maybe 2 switches.
Yeah, everything would be almost ready.
Pretty much.
That everyone plays April 12th. That's the final game of the season.
Yeah. On a Sunday.
Yeah, that's a
Weird. Because usually the Sunday games are early, but most of the time. Except it's at
and it's
Sunday
like,
night.
They usually have it set up as like a all day thing. They don't have it like that this year. All the games are like the earliest games at 6.
Boo! What?
They usually have it 1 through.
Really?
Yeah.
They all? Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. Like.
Maybe
6 and 8:30.
maybe that was just a TNT thing. Who knows?
Well, TNT doesn't have games anymore.
Well, yeah, that's a lot.
Don't they?
They used to be on TNT for 1 or 2 though.
Oh, TNT.
Yeah, but
I miss it.
Eastern Conference is fun. The Western Conference is also pretty fun. So, obviously the first and second seed race is really fun currently.
Close.
The San Antonio Spurs have won 11 straight. The Thunder have won 4 straight, 9-1 in their last 10, and it's just whichever team loses first, pretty much. Like that's just like they're just throwing haymakers at each other, and they're just like, okay, well, one of you budge eventually, and that's what's been going on. The Lakers are. We're going to get into the Lakers. They're currently the 3 seed, but they're only 1 game up on the Nuggets and a 2.5 games up on the Rockets for 4 and 5, and then the Timberwolves are 1 game back of the Rockets for 5 and 6. They are more than likely locked into the playoffs. They'd have to take a really bad losing streak and a really nice win streak by the Suns for the Timberwolves to somehow fall out of the playoff picture. But the play-in tournament's also pretty close. The Suns are more than likely locked into that 7th spot, but the Trailblazers are currently hot, 8-2 in their last 10, and that 8 seed right now, 40-38 record, 2.5 games back of the Suns for 7. The Clippers are a half game back of them in the 9 seed spot, and the Warriors are 3 games back, but they're getting Curry back, so who knows what could happen there. But the West, although it's pretty much all locked in, not as crazy as the East, there is some fun storylines in there.
I mean, yeah, 1 and 2 to me is pretty much. I mean, they're locked in positions. It's going to be 1 or 2. I think that helps both Oklahoma City and San Antonio, but that's more of hosting. If they, I said if. Most likely when they'll make the Western Conference Finals. It's going to be one of those 2 at the very least will host. That is a very important factor when it comes to playoff basketball. You want to be hosting because the fan environment can win or lose you a game. The Lakers now, well, I mean, we'll get into them probably specifically here in a minute, but they're at 3. I don't know if that's going to last much longer. I doubt it. But Denver at 4, I mean, they have a chance to honestly hold down that spot. Houston and Minnesota are behind them. Really depends. I'd have to fully look at everybody's schedules. But, I mean, for that part, you're pretty much set. I mean, 6 and 7 can switch if you think about it. But 1 through 5 is pretty much guaranteed. Oh, yeah, they already locked in. So that'll switch for 6 and 7 for the teams. But you go down lower into the play-in land. The Clippers are there. I mean, at the 9th seed, at least they're actually going to be in the postseason in some form. Golden State, to me, even with Curry back, I don't know if it might be a lost ship that just needs to anchor down, and I think they have to do that eventually. And then you have Portland, nice young fun team. I mean, that was kind of flop factor second team. We thought they were going to do decent. 8 seed, we'll take. Could be worse, but I think that'll be fun. I will be more intrigued though about the Western Conference plan. I think there's more storyline there than the East, unfortunately. But I mean, hey, it'll be playing basketball. Will be fun, especially in this Western Conference. You'll have, I mean, as it stands today, Phoenix and Portland will be a good game. LA in the Golden State game though, I don't know why. I feel like that could be because that's basically elimination. That's it.
Yep.
I'll be excited to see that. But Curry will probably have a legacy game to keep him alive just to probably lose in the second round of the play-in. But I don't know. West is fun, though. I will be very curious to see if Portland can actually make some noise.
Yeah, definitely. And it's always fun whenever stuff like this happens because the play-in tournament is such an interesting addition to this. Like, it adds so much more. It adds those 2 extra teams that could play in the postseason, potentially claw their way in from very bad odds, but who knows? We saw the Heat do it last year. Couldn't one of these 9-10 seeds do it again? Who knows?
It's possible.
But it's a lot harder to go from that point than it is whenever you play 2 games and a double elimination. Then you have to win 2 straight games, both sometimes away, like how the Heat did it last year. But I looked in on the Tankathon how they believe the remaining schedule strength is. Currently, the hardest remaining schedule is the Denver Nuggets. In their 5 games left, they play the Thunder once, Spurs twice, Trailblazers once, and then the Grizzlies. Number 2 is unfortunately the Charlotte Hornets.
Oh.
They have the Pistons, Celtics, Knicks, Timberwolves, and then only have the Pacers as an easy opponent.
That won't be fun.
And then number 3, well, they'll probably be happy about this one in Dallas. It's them. They have in 6 games remaining, they have the Spurs, Lakers, Suns, Magic, and Clippers, with the Bulls as the other one. And then 4 is Philadelphia, 5 is Phoenix, 6 Indiana, 8 Portland, 9 New York, 10 San Antonio, 11 Atlanta, 12 OKC, Memphis, Orlando, Boston, Toronto, Lakers, Clippers, and then all the way at the bottom is Cleveland.
Yeah, we'll still take it.
Yeah.
But, I mean, yeah, strength of schedule. The thing is, on the NBA, it's so weird in a given night. I mean, one of those games can switch, and then they'll just flop the standings completely, or you can just have it be like kind of mix how Atlanta is, just climbing on up, winning when they aren't supposed to. I mean, what New York does will be very interesting, because I think if they play Atlanta, I think that could be closer than a lot of people think.
Yeah, definitely. And, I mean, Atlanta's hot, New York's hot too. Like all of these teams, like all the teams that's in the playoffs right now. I was looking down the standings list where it's like last 10, like on the Western Conference side of things, 9-1, 10-0, 8-2, 8-2, 6-4, 6-4. Well, the Suns are 3-7, but then 8-2, 5-5, 4-6. And on the Eastern Conference side of things, 8-2, 8-2, 7-3, 7-3, 8-2, 7-3. The poor Raptors are 5-5. The Hornets are 7-3, and then the Magic, the Magic and Heat are tanking.
Oh my God!
2-8 and 2-8, I guess.
It's not even gonna help tanking. You're guaranteed in the postseason.
Yeah,
it's not gonna do much.
I mean,
I don't know.
it's been bad basketball for especially the Magic. The Heat are just very weird.
Well, it also doesn't help that in the NBA right now you probably have maybe 10 tanking teams. That's like a third of the league. I mean,
the Wizards, Nets, and Pacers are all bottoming out for sure. The Bulls have been trying to. The Bucks have, yeah.
The Bulls are one of the weirdest organizations in the NBA. Yep. Like they had the talent, and then you get rid of it, and now you're just kind of bad. Like, is this where they finally start fully embracing the tank? They haven't been doing it in years.
Yeah, they're always been just consistently mid.
Pretty much. This is just one of the worst.
Actually bad.
Yeah, bad. It was mid.
Pacers have won 2 straight games, now jumped from the last place odds to the 4th odds. I mean, third odds. They're still better.
Get the number 1 pick.
They're still better than the Kings. Okay, but moving on. There was a game last night between the Thunder and Lakers. The Lakers got just destroyed from the very first second of the game. Like you could tell, oh, this is going to go that way. Lou Dort hit 4 first quarter threes. The Thunder scored 41 combined points. The Lakers only scored 22 in the first quarter, and then it just moved on. And yeah, later on in that third quarter, Luka Doncic tries to drive past Jalen Williams, pulls up on his hamstring, falls to the ground. Does not look good, especially when we'll get into the 65-game rule later, but that was his 64th game of the season. He's been dealing with hamstring injuries for this entire year.
Yeah.
But if this is more than just a 1 week injury, like 1-2 week injury, if this is bad and actually affects how we could be in the playoffs, not looking good for the Lakers once again.
Yeah, no, if this Luka injury is longer term, the problem is with hamstrings, you don't really know too much unless it's really bad. It can either I'm trying to find the best way to explain it, but it's more of like especially since he's been dealing with this all year. I mean, this is going to be more of they're going to take a cautious approach for the Lakers because I mean, yeah, they're guaranteed in. I'm pretty sure, right? Yeah.
Yeah, they're
Yes,
locked
that's what I
in.
thought. Yeah, you at least had the locked in spot because if you don't have Luka at near full strength, I think probably anybody can beat this Lakers. Well, not anybody, but in the playoffs, whoever they're matched up against. I'll tell you what, yeah, that'd be Minnesota. I think Minnesota could beat them easily.
Yeah, they did it last year.
Yeah, I mean, they could easily do it again. But if you're the Lakers, this is a very much you have to kind of look yourselves in the mirror and say, who are we? This is the best team in the NBA we're facing, and we're getting literally destroyed by 40-plus points. I mean, if you want to try and contend, you're going to have to go through this OKC team, and I don't think that's possible, especially not without Luka. But I think for Luka's sake, you have to think longevity of your career. I think that's really what he should do here, but it all really depends on what the Lakers doctors find and what they think and what Luka wants to do. But I think if you're the Lakers, you kind of hope you don't sputter out of control because you could easily drop to the 5 seed. And that's a big problem. You'd have to face a team like Denver, and Denver's probably going to destroy you too. I mean, Nikola Jokic will go off, but hey, it's just my guess. But for the Lakers, you got to look out.
Yeah, definitely. And, I mean, this is just one of those games that the Lakers show that it just makes you wonder, like, is this team really for real? Like they've not played up to par against any of the top teams in the league anytime they've played against them. They've beat up on the bad teams, just cannot beat the good teams. And it feels like every single time they play the Thunder or Spurs, this exact thing happens. It's always hyped up, and then boom, right out the gates, destroyed, game's over. You're playing Bronny James in the third quarter.
Dropping 10 points. But this is one of probably, at least in my opinion, from what I've seen the past couple of years, one of the worst 50-win teams I've probably seen in a good bit. But, I mean, what they'll do in the offseason for this Lakers team, I'll be very, very curious because they got a lot of questions.
Yeah. And currently, as we're moving forward, the 65-game rule has struck many people the wrong way this season. Currently, there's 12 NBA stars who would have been winning like some sort of All-NBA award this year, or been in consideration for awards, but now likely won't reach that. Anthony Edwards won't reach it now. He's been dealing with that injury. Cade Cunningham will not reach it now, as he'll be out for at least one more week. Stephen Curry's been out of the awards picture. Giannis has been out of the awards picture. LeBron, Jimmy Butler tore his ACL, but Joel Embiid has only played 36 games this season, so he won't be eligible either. J-Dub has missed a lot, but Embiid and J-Dub and Butler have all been out a good time. But the new man has entered that. He played the 64th game last night, but then got hurt. Is Luka Doncic. This entire award honestly doesn't really, like, the 65 game requirement has never really made sense to me because there wasn't really a reason for it. There wasn't a reason for it, like, especially whenever you think of like the MVP, like anything like that. There's not been an MVP that's not in a lockout season or like a COVID season like 2020-21 that didn't play less than 65 games. Like, I don't really understand the point of that because majority of MVPs end up playing like in the 70s. Sometimes like the only one recently that won an MVP at like without reaching that 65 game minimum, well, was close to it, was Joel Embiid whenever he had 66 games in his MVP season. And that was the reason why they put it in. And they made it a 65 game rule, but it's one game less than Joel. Really makes no sense to me. But looking through the point leaders this season, so Anthony Edwards is third in the league in points per game. Luka is number 1 in points per game. Luka's at 64, Ant's at 59. Tyrese Maxey and Shea Maxey's at 64. He's still healthy, so he'll be playing in his next game, reaching that. Shea reached it last night. So they're locks for all NBA teams. Jaylen Brown's a lock for an all NBA team. Kawhi has to play 4 of the Clippers' last 5 games to reach 65 games. Donovan Mitchell's reached that mark. Jokic has to play 4 of his team's last 65 games. Brunson's played 70. Durant's played 73. Booker needs to play 4 more games. Murray's played 72. So Wembanyama needs to play 4 more games. But there's a lot of players very close right now. That's like, if something happens, they won't be on an NBA team. And it really makes the whole entire All-NBA process a lot more like, you get a lot different All-NBA guys than you would be accustomed to seeing because of this. Like, currently, because of all these guys, who knows who you could see? Like, you could potentially see like someone like Brandon Miller on the NBA third team if things end up falling that way.
I really think with this rule, it's terrible. I'm not going to try and defend this rule unless you're Adam Silver and say, I think it's working. And, oh my goodness, I'm not going to. Yeah, he said, it is working. I'm not ready to say that because there's a sense of unfairness for one player. One player, huh? I mean, we just went down the list of some pretty important players of the NBA. I don't think it's one player, but I mean, what do I know, I guess. But I think really, in my opinion, it's a very garbage rule because, especially now with it is, and things with back-to-backs will happen. I mean, you're going to have to play. Some players will take that rest and not be able to play, and it's what is. They're preserving their long-term health to benefit your league, if you really think about it, from Adam Silver's perspective. I think it's stupid. You're going to have – it's going to only trickle down because then these awards, they're not going to mean much because – you don't have everybody who's been playing at MVP levels in the conversation. I mean, you could have 6th man of the year. I mean, even the All-NBA teams. I mean, you never know for Hall of Fame consideration. Sometimes they use that. I mean, also, speaking of Hall of Fame, shout out Marty Stoudemire and Doc Rivers making it into the NBA Hall of Fame. Or Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame. Great place, been there once. But, I don't know. I'm not a big fan. I think this should be changed, but the only problem is, how would you fully change it and still make it to where, you need to play, but 65, really? I don't know.
Yeah, and moving forward after that 65-game conversation, there's a little segment where we're each going to have 2 players because there's only 2 of us. I have 3 just because I wanted to shout out a former Mountaineer making it pro. But Tank Team Spotlight, guys working their way towards potentially staying in the NBA after picking up these second opportunities or even for some first opportunities with teams that are currently injured, currently bottom of the barrel, just trying to find guys to fill out rotation spots. Like the Grizzlies, for example, which signed 3 guys to 10-day contracts yesterday because of how injured they've been this season. But one of those guys is Toby Oconee, former Mountaineer, big-time defender, lengthy, long defender that played for 3 or 4 different schools in his collegiate career. His final season was with the Mountaineers. Good tall guard / forward that is lanky, could potentially play some minutes for the Grizzlies. Along with him, they also signed Dariq Whitehead, who was playing with the OKC Blue. But 2 guys I wanted to shout out. Ousmane Dieng is the first one, who got picked up by the Milwaukee Bucks after being traded 3 different times at the trade deadline. First from the Thunder, then to the Hornets, then to the Bulls in the Kobe White deal. Then the Bulls, for some reason, just gave him up for nothing and sent him to Milwaukee, even though he'd be perfect for the direction this team's heading right now. But since joining Milwaukee, he's averaged 10.6 points per game on 37% from 3, 44% from the floor, and then a 6-point loss to the Houston Rockets in his last game on April 1st. He scored a career-high 36 points along with 7 rebounds and 10 assists. Shout out to Ousmane Dieng. I love his game. Was always a big fan of him. Really wanted him to break out with the Thunder. Just couldn't happen. Could never find consistent minutes. But shout out. He's a NBA champ at 2 different levels, the G League and the real level as well. So shout out Ousmane. The second guy is a guy from Indiana, Ethan Thompson. He's played a good bit this season. He's appeared in 26 games, started in 8 for the Pacers so far. He's really carved his way into a true rotation spot, bounced around with a couple of teams in the G League the past couple of years. Played at Oregon State, was 31st in the 2017 recruiting class. But shout out Ethan Thompson. He's been playing really well. He's averaging 5.8 points per game this season on 34% from three. He's a big-time defensive player, defensive-first guy. But against the Bulls in a 20-point Pacers win, he shot 53% from the floor, 5 of 8 from three-point range, and scored 24 points, had it on 2 steals, a block, and 5 assists. Shout out Ethan Thompson. I feel like Ethan Thompson's going to be one of those guys that's actually going to carve out a spot with this Pacers team. I feel this. I feel like he's going to get a multi-year deal and like end up being like a rotation player off the bench, backing up Tyrese Halliburton down the line because this is a really good player.
Yeah, those rotational players are, I think, taken too much for granted now, especially in the NBA where they're probably as valuable as ever because you need a great bench to win championships. My first player. Matt will probably like this. Will Riley of the Washington Wizards out of Illinois. He was a first-round pick in 2025. You know, he's been pretty good so far for me. In the last 10 games, I almost said me. He has scored 17 points a game in the last 10 games and even had a pretty good showing against the Golden State Warriors in a loss, but he dropped 22 points. He was 60% from three, and he's had 3 games in a row from the 27th to the 30th of March of 100% from free throws. They call him free for a reason. So shout out to Will Riley for my first player. The Wizards are a very much tanking team. Second one, this one's Kyle Filipowski of the Utah Jazz. I'll tell you what, though, he's been having his last 4 games have been pretty good. 20-plus points in each of those 4 games. He dropped 25 against the Nuggets, 26 against the Suns, 20 against the Cavs, and 25 against the Nuggets again. He dropped 25 on the Nuggets twice. That is really weird. Those were one was at Denver on the 27th, and then April 1st that was at home. But tell you what, it's always really weird. That's not an April Fool's joke, though. Kyle Filipowski has been pretty good these past couple of games. I'm trying to find his last 10. There it is. Yeah, he's been averaging 17.1 as well, so I guess I picked the 17-point scorers, but I think very impressive from Utah. You got to kind of find somebody who can do something, and Kyle Filipowski leading the tank.
Shout out. Shout out tank commanders everywhere. I'll never forget you, Jalen Horde. I'll never forget Jalen Horde. What a player. But last topic we'll be getting to is J. Cole. Jermaine Cole, the rapper himself, big time. He's going pro once again. This time signing with Chinese League's Nanjing Monkey Kings. The Nanjing Monkey Kings is where J. Cole will be signing. This was reported on April 1st, but it's not an April Fool's Day joke.
So I was seeing the comments.
Whenever I saw this, I was like, is this real? But 6 minutes before the clock turned midnight, 6 minutes before the clock turned midnight on April 1st, 2026, Shams reported that J. Cole signed with China and will be playing in the Chinese Basketball Association. This is the 3rd time he has played in a professional league. He played with the Rwanda Patriots in 2021 and the Scarborough Shooting Stars in the CEBL in 2022. So his latest album, The Fall Off, was released in February. So this is I know the like my friend. I'm not the biggest into J. Cole, but my friend, like one of my friends, is really big, and I knew that The Fall Off's the one that's like the capping off for that entire series of albums, and this is a great way for it all to end. Just playing in the CBL.
Yeah, it's gonna be really weird because isn't he going on tour this year?
I think he is.
So like, how is that gonna work? Because unless it's like for X amount of games.
Yeah, it's probably like he's probably gonna play like 5 games and like
call it quits.
Yeah,
I knew. That's
what he did with Rwanda. That's what he did. I know he played like 10 games in the Canadian League. So
I mean, I know it was a big dream of his to play professional basketball. I mean, you're playing. So I mean, a technical form of professional basketball. I mean, shout out to J. Cole. I mean, he's won multiple Grammys for a reason. He's a great musician, great artist. He has some great songs. Crooked Smile is a favorite of mine. But you know what? Shout out J. Cole. I hope he drops 20 on somebody.
Yeah, imagine like J. Cole sizing up Terrence Ferguson, just stepping back, drilling a shot from 25 feet out.
That'd be incredible to watch.
Who else is in China right now? Darius Baisley's in China right now.
Is he?
Yeah.
trying to think of the. Wasn't it? Yeah. Do they call it the CBA?
It's
The Chinese Basketball Association. So they call it
CBA. Yes.
I was wondering. Huh.
Nanjing, the Monkey Kings with J. Cole.
How do you make up your team names though?
I don't know. I mean, there's the Shanghai Sharks. There's
oh my gosh, the classics. Isn't that where Ben Simmons went, or he should go?
They're like,
I always see that on Twitter. That's what.
Yeah, that's what
Oh
they're
my
saying.
God.
Man, he should get a Shanghai Shark. I'm pretty sure is D-Base on the Shanghai Sharks.
Is he really?
Let's see.
I couldn't tell you. I don't know much about Chinese basketball, unfortunately.
He's on the Ningbo Rockets. Then yesterday, he scored 9 points against the Nanjing Monkey King.
Oh my God! He played the J. Cole team. Well, new J. Cole team.
Yeah.
Hey,
So,
honestly, this could probably, if you really think about it as well, just be like a merch tactic, and you could just get a bunch of like Cole merch with the Monkey Kings. I don't know what their jerseys look like, so like
yeah, there's the Flying Tigers, the Fly Dragon. I know the Fly Dragon. The Fly Dragons were in 2K and 2K20.
Oh my!
Whenever you
Lord.
played in China that year,
Lakers
you were on
Anthony Davis
Shanghai. You were on Shanghai, and then you played
Oh,
against
that's
the Fly Dragons.
that was the team. Oh my gosh!
The Sturgeons,
The Mad Ants.
the Long Lions, the Blue Whales.
Wasn't that 2K2? The Mad Ants? You were like the
Yeah, Fort
NBG
Wayne.
League? Yeah.
Fort Wayne.
Wow. I did not. I have not played 2K yet this year.
Yeah.
I had to boycott one, and I can never boycott MLB The Show. Oh my gosh! But shout out J. Cole though. He's pursuing your dreams, and it's for the love of the game.
Hashtag Hoop Dreams. That's what J. Cole lives by. And
Shout out.
yeah, so shout out, making it pro once again. That's it for this week's episode of Flop Factor.
We made it over.
Yeah, we made it
36.
37 minutes.
Wow.
Just us two.
That's impressive.
Some great topics to cover. As always, you can tune in to Flop Factor every week, Friday evenings on every single podcast platform, which is Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon, a lot of others. YouTube, they put us on the United to the Moose YouTube page as a video form without a video, but next year, watch out. Videos, content may be coming. There's some things in the works here at the studio we record at. But that's it for this week's episode of the Flop Factor. Thanks for listening all the way. Have a great holiday weekend, safe travels, happy Easter, and yeah, the Flop Factor ends now.